The New York Liberty versus the Indiana Fever. What went wrong? Let's get into it. First, let's look at the quarters. First quarter, Fever 22, Liberty 23. They were pretty close right there. They needed to keep that momentum. Second quarter, Fever 24, Liberty 19. Now right here, when the Fever are at their best, they have a lead. They need to keep that lead. They need to protect that lead. It's crucial. Okay? Whenever you get a lead on any team, specifically the Liberty, you want to keep that lead. Third quarter, Fever 21, Liberty 27. Fever began to slip. Their defense began to slip. They began to make some strange passes. They began to not take easy buckets. They began to not be communicating. Fourth quarter, Fever 17, Liberty 29. They totally just gave it to them in the fourth quarter. All right? Their defense was not where it needed to be. They weren't doing what they needed to do. Their turnovers were not good. They were not able to defend themselves they weren't able to do what they needed to do regarding the Liberty. And there's reasons for that. There's reasons for that. Let me just go into a little bit for a second. One of the things that we know about the Liberty is this. They have some tall people on their team. They got Stewie. They got, Jonquel. They got who else? They got just taller people on their team. Vibich. They just have taller people, and they have lots of them. Talbot now. Pretty soon they're going to have Mesman. Okay? So when you have tall people on a team, you got to either be quicker than them, have a defensive structure that's going to work to get around them, okay? Or you got to have some bigs on your team as well who are able to match the height, all right, and to be utilized. And that's where the Fever are lacking. They don't have bigs that they're using. Okay, they have Howard, and Howard is hot and cold. She will get a bucket, she will get to the free throw line, and she'll make those free throws, and there is times where she doesn't. Or she'll get the ball, and she'll be going, up, downhill, and then all of a sudden she'll lose the ball. It's like her hands has, some kind of it can't grasp anything. Or she'll miss easy layups. Okay? So you got to have more than just Howard. And this would be a time where, and I'm not sure why this didn't happen. Why, Timpson did not come into play. She has height and she has just a major wingspan. So why not put her in? And they say that it was a coach's decision. Now, what does that mean, a coach's decision? That's sort of probably some sort of language they use when maybe a player is on disciplinary actions. Maybe a player didn't show up for practice. Maybe a player wasn't putting out in practice in terms of them doing what they're supposed to do at practice. Maybe a player missed something they shouldn't have missed. I have no idea. Only the coach knows that because it was a coach's decision. But against the Liberty, you want to put someone like Timpson in. At least she has the height and the wingspan to be able to do something in the paint. They didn't do that. They didn't utilize Turner. As far as we know, Turner is just sitting on the bench. She's sitting on the bench collecting a paycheck. Why is she doing that? I have no idea. They had plenty of time to waive her, and they didn't waive her. Now they got some time for trades, but who are they going to trade her for? Who's going to want her on their team? Like, how's that going to happen? It almost makes you wonder, like, what is going on with this? Was there some behind the scenes deal that was made concerning her that we're not privy to as fans? Because why would she just be on the bench collecting a paycheck and not being utilized? Where's her skill set at? Where are you using her at, and why are you not using her? If she's injured, then say that. So it doesn't seem to be an injury. What's going on with that? And it's not like they don't need to have a bench they can use, right? So I don't understand that. So, anyways, the Fever need to have some bigs on their team. They lost to the Liberty. Two reasons. One, they don't have any bigs to utilize in terms of defense or offense. Okay. Yeah, they have Boston. Boston is good. She's really working really hard when she's on the court. But they need more than just her. Okay. They need more than just her. And then we have the fact that the Fever cannot afford to miss shots up against the Liberty. They can't afford to have turnovers up against the Liberty. They can't afford to let their defense decrease or go down because they need to have that in order to get points from that. And their display of their defense in the first quarter was spot on. They were doing really good, boxing some people out. I mean, doing really good. Okay? But what happened? Particularly when Ionescu goes out, all right, in the second half. She goes out and stays off the court for a minute. She's resting because she had just, did this 3-point contest or whatever. So she was kind of tuckered out, all right? So she's resting on the bench now, all right? And so when she comes back out, what does she do? Bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. And the Fever have no answer for her because the Fever are not hitting their buckets. They're not, making their shots. So I don't know. Is it because the Fever are not practicing enough? Is that what it is? Because if you're practicing, on the court on your own time, with the team and on your own time, you're practicing. You're going to be hitting those simple shots should go in. Those simple layups should go in. Those 3-pointers should go in. Right? So maybe that's what it is. They don't have enough time at practice, enough time, getting those buckets in. I don't know. But all I do know is they need more bigs and they need to be at practice. They need to always increase their defense and they need to maintain that increased defense from first quarter to the fourth quarter, all the way through to the end, especially when you're facing the Fever. Don't they know that? You are not going to win against the Fever just, playing patty cake. You are not going to win against the Fever when Jonquel is back. You are not going to win against the Fever sending them to the free throw line. Not going to happen. Okay. Now, did the Indiana Fever play poorly? I wouldn't say that. I would give them probably a B minus, but I would definitely give the New York Liberty a B plus. Okay, for Howard, she got 13 points, so she did well. 13 points. And Boston had 15 points. Mitchell had 29 points. So Mitchell did pretty good. She did well. All right. Cunningham had 15 points. A good job there. She had 5 out of 8 3-pointers. Mitchell had 3 out of 9 3-pointers. McDonald had the score of 5 points. Okay. Dantes, 2 rebounds. Colson, 2 assists. Hull, 7 points. 2 out of 6 3-pointers. So they didn't do badly. Like I said, they didn't do poorly. But their defense was not up to par to face the Liberty. And they didn't have enough bigs on the floor at any given time to assist them in the paint. Liberty had Stewart had 17 points. Phoebix had 17 points. Jones, 18 points. Cloud, 10 points. Enescu, 13 points. Harrison, off the bench, 13 points. Burke, 7 points. Johans, 3 points. And as far as 3-pointers, Phoebix had 2 of 2. Jones, 3 of 7. Cloud, 2 of 2. Enescu, 3 of 6. Burke, 1 of 2. Johannes, 1 of 2. Okay? So they put in the work. They outplayed. They outplayed the Fever. Basically, that's what happened. They outplayed the Fever. You can't get no ins and outs about it. They just outplayed the Fever. As far as turnovers, points conceded off turnovers for the Fever, 20, and for the Liberty, 16. They broke even in fast break points, 14 apiece. Points in the paint, 34 for the Fever, 42 for the Liberty. The largest lead for the Fever was 8. The largest lead for the Liberty was 14. Field goal percentage, 41.9 for the Fever, 51.6 for the Liberty. Free throws percentage, 85.7 for the Fever and 95.2 for the Liberty. At that game in New York, Brooklyn, New York, at the Barclays Center, the attendance was 17,365 people. It's not, by accident that the Indiana Fever lost. It's not by accident. They got to be consistent, and they got to be hungry for it. When you watch players on the court who are going up in that paint and laying up that ball, who are making cuts and who are just good ball handlers and who know how to bob and weave, so to speak. Those are the players who make points. Now, Kelsey Mitchell is one of those. She can bob and weave and she's quick on her feet. And she made those points she made during the game because she was quick. She don't have the height, but she's quick. And then when she gets the ball, she can make it stick the majority of the time. Okay? So they need, other players like that. They have Erin, and that's good. She's good. However, they need people who are going to do better defense. People that are going to be in the paint that can help to defend the paint. They need to have at least one other big besides Boston. And then they need to have a plan of action that's going to work. A plan that's going to be workable that will give them the win. Especially against teams like the Liberty. You cannot play with the Liberty. They will get theirs. The Liberty play to win. They play because they don't want to lose. And so the Liberty, has that about them. They have that hunger. They have that go get it. And I think the Fever need to really dig deep into that gritty place within them and have it emerge. Because if they don't, they're going to be losing games. Because, again, they are in transition. They are making adjustments because, CC is not there. She's not on the court. So they got to readjust things. I get that. But now we're halfway through the season. So they got to get it together. And the powers that be, the front office, whoever makes a decision about, getting another player, they got to do it because the trade season ends in early August. I think the first week of August. So they have to get someone that's going to be a big. And again, I don't understand what they're doing with Turner. Why have her on the bench collecting a paycheck when she's not doing anything? Same kind of questions we had when Barner was there. If she's not doing anything, why is she collecting a paycheck? It was kind of peculiar, kind of suspicious. I'm just saying. So, all that said, listen, if you've enjoyed this content, come on and subscribe. Just come on and subscribe. We'll be happy to have you over here on my channel. And give me a thumbs up because that's helpful. Also, tap the bell so that you'll be reminded of when there will be new content. I appreciate you for showing up. I appreciate you for listening. Until next time, my name is Barbara, around the WNBA. Peace. Blessings.